Hello. Surprise. Last minute change of plans. So anyone tuning in that was expecting to see Josh and the crew go through Dungeons and Dragons today, unfortunately for some stuff behind the scenes, we've had to switch out. So instead you've got me, and I'm joined by two of the organizers for Roll for Good. Tesha was previously on the last stream, so everyone's been represented today. And we're going to be playing a game of Orbital Blues. This is a lo-fi space western from Soul Muppet. It's written by Sam Sleaney and Zachary Cox, and is illustrated by Joshua Clark. It is a rules light system that pays homage to the likes of Cowboy Bebop and Firefly and things like that. So if you like that kind of lo-fi, low technology sci-fi stuff, then this game is a great fit for that. Our players, who I'll introduce in a second, they are going to be intergalactic criminals trying to get by and such. So I will give them a couple of minutes to introduce themselves and the characters they will be playing. But before I do that, I just want to remind everyone that this stream is currently happening to raise money for Game Therapy UK, which is a charity that helps support people through therapeutic tabletop RPGs. They help a wide variety of people from all different walks of life, and it's something that we are all personally invested with. I'm not shy about how tabletop RPG playing and usage has been a huge therapeutic factor for me in stuff I've had to work out internally, and it's helped me through a great chunk of my adult life. So it's something very passionate about. But yeah, I will introduce you to the two joining me. I'll let them introduce themselves, really. First up, Salem.
Yeah, me, criminal. No, I don't know what you're on about, mate. That's slander. Hello, everyone. My name is Salem. I use they, them pronouns. I'm still getting used to being they, them. I will occasionally use the wrong pronouns on myself, and you will see me slap myself until I get it right. I can be found in most internet places at Salem Flame or at Salem Flame UK if someone else beat me to it on that particular platform. How dare they? And I was about to say tonight because I'm always a nighttime streamer and I'm in night mode. This afternoon, going into the evening, I will be playing Ripley, a dashing, middle-aged, amazing man of many talents who has seen it all and can do it all and is definitely not lying about any of that. Yeah.
And Blue.
Hello, I'm Blue. I'm back again. Hi. Last minute games. That's our remit. Hi, I'm Blue on the internet. Sanguis Blue on various forms of social media and stuff. You can find me here, there, and everywhere doing various charity events. And today, in Orbital Blues, this is the first time I'll be playing this character called Shook. And Shook is tall, dark, handsome, intimidating, and just generally the muscle of the pack, here to look scary and be scary. And unfortunately for these guys, actually have to, do some talking. Rather than just standing in the back and looking scary. That's going to be awkward for everyone.
So just to introduce a little bit about the system to people before we get started properly. This is a system that uses the Best Led Buried system that Soul Muppet did previously with the previous games, and I've used in a couple of other games since, where people will be rolling 2d6 and then adding a stat. They have 3 stats, which are muscle, savvy, and grit. They each relate to different things. Muscle is your strength, your physical body, and stuff like that. Savvy being the quickness that you can move and also how fast you can think, and grit being your determination to get through things. Everything's going to go through all those 3 stats. Sometimes I'll give my players like, hey, roll this one, and they might go, I think it's this one, and I'm happy to have that conversation if we do so. But we'll see. If you're trying to lift up a truck and use your savvy, I might disagree.
Are you saying that I can't lift a truck up with my voice?
I mean, you can try. So we do have a Roll20 page that we're going to be rolling dice on and stuff like that, but you can't see that, so you have to trust us. Of a little side note, we play in an Orbital Blues game off screen. Part of the reason why we came down and playing this game today. Despite me wearing my Cowboy Bebop shirt, I didn't know we were playing this when I woke up this morning. And so there might be a couple of little bits of moments of reference or dramatic irony, as it were, around that, but we're not going to do too much. We're essentially setting this as a prequel to our kind of main home game.
It's fine. The references go over my head as well.
But yeah, that's, I think, all the little preamble I think I need to do, I hope. If I've missed anything, please let me know. But other than that, I am ready to get into this. So we're going to start off. You are been asked to come in for a meeting with someone who would be kind of a mid-high level kind of mob boss within the, I couldn't pronounce this before, Blue. What was it again? Carbonado. That was it.
Carbonara.
Yeah. No, not that. No. Yeah, it's the Carbonado cartel.
Carbonado. Yeah, I keep also wanting to say Carbonara cartel.
Stop
It's
it.
fine. I will call the carbohydrates cartel before you know it.
But yeah, you have been called in to speak to a fairly high member of this organization called Aussie Green. Aussie spelled like an Australian. And they ask you to come meet in this kind of private residence that people might not have seen otherwise. Very few people get a chance to come here and see what is going on. And it is this kind of very far away from society, kind of underground, almost bunker. There is several people in fairly smart, especially for this kind of work, suits, who are kind of guarding the place, but allow you to go in freely. They know you've been called. And when you meet Ozzy, he is stood in this room that is just kind of almost like a museum room. It is filled with glass cabinets that have different items inside of them. I'm going to ask, we'll start with Salem. If you can introduce your character properly, what they look like, and how they are acting in this room.
Yeah. So Ripley is, I think we established about 6'1"-ish, kind of scruffy brown hair that's going a little bit grey. In a few places, like there's a few like slight grey strands. They are wearing sort of white button shirts. I think last time I described them as space chinos, as they're like leggings, and they're wearing kind of like leather trench coat, with like not full combat boots, but like work boots. Something that's like practical. It's probably the only thing that Ripley wears that is practical. Everything else is for show. Like everything else is like this is a fashion statement. I'm choosing to dress like this. They are looking at all the glass cabinets, being like, "Oh, I remember that, and yeah, I remember seeing that somewhere else." And they seem to know every single one of these exhibits in some way. Some of them they openly go, "Oh yeah, I remember stealing that. How did that get here?" And just generally making their presence known.
So I think you do that. You can see a couple of the security guards around this room are watching you fairly openly. There's no, oh, we're subtly watching you out the corner of our eye. That they are following you around the room. Ozzy, however, takes absolutely no notice. Blue, if you can introduce Shook and what you're doing in this moment.
So Shook is already posted up in the corner of the room. They're sat down, legs up on another chair, and they are dressed in. So they've got like combat trousers on, combat boots. They've got a tack vest. They've got like a flight jacket over the top of it, so leather with the fur edging. And then they've got their hood up, and they're fairly shadowed within it, so you can't directly see their face. And they've just got their arms crossed, leaning back and just chilling out. For all intents and purposes, they might be asleep. You can't really tell. But yeah, they don't seem particularly bothered about the people in the room, the security, anyone wandering around or anything.
Excellent. So I think when it's been a couple of minutes, you just hear this really large sigh from Ozzy Green. Another couple of few minutes go by and you hear it again.
Ripley's too busy in like peacock mode to like they'll let the first one go, and then when the second one happens, they'll just walk up to Ozzy and like put their arm around Ozzy's shoulder and like lean their head on lean their head on his other shoulder. See, that's why you
people Brock's in here. Like, what's happening?
That's why you don't know if they're telling the truth or not, because they are literally two-faced. Yeah, I just like rest their head on Ozzy's shoulder. It's like, what's on your mind, buddy?
So you'll have to forgive me. I'm really bad at accents. I don't ever do accents. Good day, my friend.
What's up?
Where's
You're
your
doing the sign.
compatriot?
I'm guessing you mean the one that isn't the one that is dressed like a security guard but not doing their job properly by sitting in the corner with their feet up, looking like they're not caring the bloody world. I'll be honest, I don't quite know. I mean, whatever it is, I can do it on my own. I don't really need it. Like, me and help, they don't really get along. I get shot in the back a few too many times.
Consider it not dependency. What's the word? Redundancy. On my behalf. Well, I trust you can get this job done perfectly fine on your own. A bit of backup sometimes, just to be safe.
Well, I do like redundancy payments.
Look, and then points to what they're standing in front of, which is this big, larger than the rest of them case that is empty. It comes up to about chest height, but is incredibly long and wide. perfectly measured.
So you're missing something, or you want something.
I will have something. Turns around on his heels to look directly at Shook. Shall we?
Shook kind of moves their head up so they can make eye contact and just nods in affirmation.
Have either of you seen Red Light to Dusk? So Red Light to Dusk is an old movie. It's from XX79. It is what would be considered, in our days, it would be a film that comparatively would be 1979. So it's like a 40-year-old film that you tell me if you've seen it or not.
Ripley will be like, I'm not that old. That is actually insulting. But yes, I am aware of it.
I think Shook would have watched it.
Immediately, if Shook says I've seen it, is excited, starts walking over and just like, and your thoughts, your opinions, your criticism, tell me everything that you think.
If anyone's paying attention, the look that immediately crosses their face is regret at saying anything.
There's a look of smugness on Ripley's face.
I think Shook will uncross their arms and just be like, yeah, it's all right, I suppose.
It's a subtle masterpiece that has been misrepresented for many years, is currently seeing its true importance reevaluated in our world. Kind of turns back to the glass case. A highlight of the film for me personally is the third act. And goes on to explain in great detail this kind of car chase that happens within the third act. Like in excruciating detail. The vehicle used, the cherry red DeWitt, is a dream to behold. I would know I've seen it. You're going to bring it to me.
Okay. Just so we're clear, you've asked me to come all the way here into a massively fortified bunker through God knows how many back channels to steal a movie car?
The movie car.
Okay, the movie car. Subjective to personal opinion. Does it even work? Isn't it just a prop?
We will ensure that it is maintained properly, perhaps bring it back up to its old standards, should the people who have been housing it so far have grown lax.
Okay. So who are the current owners of this car of the century?
Oh, I didn't come up with a name for this. So if either of you two have a name, just a last name to throw out there, not your own.
Knocks yourself immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that gladly.
Pixel.
Pixel.
Yeah.
Okay. The Pixel which is the name of the kind of main producer on the film, Pixel Pictures. The estate has held onto the vehicle and is currently showboating it around for anyone to go and see.
I mean, that sounds like a good way to make revenue.
History and art should not be for revenue.
Oh, but should be for your eyes only, for your own personal reverence.
I'd rather that than...
I mean, geez, why don't you marry the car if you like it that much? Actually, I'm not going to ask. What you do with the car is your business. But, you know, really? Sorry, I still can't get my head around it. A car. That is what we're stealing.
We're going to do our first roll of the game.
Hooray! It's being cheeky roll.
I am going to ask you to make an observation roll. You can both make this roll if you wish. On your character using Roll20, there should be an observation button.
Nice.
I got a 6. I
you got a 6. Okay, so you do not notice this, but Blue, Shuck does notice. All the guards have suddenly got a step or two closer and look slightly ready.
What do I know of Ozzy? Is Ozzy in charge of the cartel, or are they just one of the few in the top echelons?
One of the two in like the top echelons. Not quite. Like they're probably, if we were looking at this in kind of like a traditional mob family, they would be like the nephew that like you let run over there, you know. They're efficient, they're good at what they do, but they're not quite top level.
Okay. In which case, noticing the stuff that Ripley is saying and the security stepping forward, I think Shuck is just gonna kind of tilt their head slightly, looking at Ozzy, and be like, "So is this a Carbonados job, or is this just a you job?"
Is there a distinction?
You tell me.
My desire is part of Carbonara's desire. Carbonada's desire. Ensuring I am kept happy is part of your job. And while 9 times out of 10, that is slaying enemies and ensuring that dissidents looks at Ripley. Stay in line.
I think on the mention of keeping you happy, I think Shuck's eyes flick to Ripley quickly.
This would be a statement. And eventually, the world will be able to see what I'm building here. But right now, allow me my petty desires.
Well, I suppose since you're paying and, you know, you clearly are an avid fan, it would be a disservice to anger the cartel.
I think now would be a good time for Ripley to notice that all the guards have moved closer and are about to draw weapons. Like, they've all paused mid, like, reaching for guns.
I said the thing you wanted me to say. Put them back.
To be clear, this is not a will you do this for me. This is me informing you of your weekend.
I have got to stop answering cartel voicemails. I really have. Every time. It's never, please, can you do something? It's, I have more guns than you. You will do what I say. could just send a card. Chocolates, flowers, something nice. I'm a very amenable person, if you ask nicely. Don't send me after movie cars, but, you know, I stole a... No, it's fine. No, it's not fine. I helped steal a nuclear reactor, for crying out loud. I am better than this. Fine, if you want a car, I'll get you a car. With or without your, like, pizza armored shuck lapdog. Admittedly, a very big and intimidating lapdog. You don't grow them like this, do you? It's quite scary. Like they every time I come here, they seem to get bigger. You've not got like a genetics thing program going on, have you?
Don't be ridiculous. Slight smile.
Okay, a car. whatever his prince wants. A car. So where is it?
Currently, Mandalay Vision, which is, you would know, is basically this space station that functions as a kind of museum and resort. Not resort as in like you go there for a beach holiday, but if you were going to go somewhere, if you were of the upper classes and wanted to go and stay somewhere for a weekend, this would be somewhere you would go. There's a lot of history in there. There is probably a amphitheater where they do kind of operas or whatever, space operas, and such. They've just finished showing it off in a resort of 70s media. It's about to be moved.
Okay. Limited time.
Depends where you want to hit. It's going to be moved soon. And it'll be moved to Proshkin and Cord, where it'll be stored with the Pixel family's goods.
Okay. Let's get this over and done with. One last question. And like Ripley is going to try moving close to Ozzy to get within like talking distance so that Shook can't hear them, or try to get to that range, and just go, so the lapdog, disposable, or do you need them returning back?
I have a preference that all my pawns stay on the board. But you are all pawns.
I don't know me a pawn. I'm a... they're thinking for a minute, like, I can't say king, because that makes me sound like a threat. I can't say queen, because that just sounds wrong. I'm a castle. Very versatile.
Stuck going in one direction.
Oh, no, don't, no. Don't take that as like some sort of, no. All chess pieces are stuck in one direction unless you're the queen. Okay, that is not a valid point that you can make against me or my personality.
You're a bishop. You get there, but your way is unique.
Do you know what I will take? You know what? Yes, that sounds much, much better. I will make sure they come back alive then. I will not throw them in front of angry policemen and be like, deal with them, and then I will steal the car. I mean,
Can I make an observation to see if I hear any of this?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give you the upper hand.
Ha! Nice.
I smell bullshit.
So the upper hand for everyone watching is basically it is advantage. You instead of rolling 2d6, you roll 3d6 and take the highest.
Not that they needed it.
No, not that they needed it.
Not that they needed it.
So that is an 11. So yeah, you hear this.
Cool. Noted.
Yeah, Shug dislikes that. So shall we? Time for an adventure?
I think Shock is going to look to Ozzy and be like, is there anyone else in this party, or is it just the two of us?
Just the two of you for now.
And then they'll look to Ripley and be like, do you have a vehicle?
Above table, do I have my ship still?
I think so. For the purpose of this,
Yeah.
I was debated being like, "Oh, we'll roll up another ship or whatever." But for the purpose of this, yes, you can have.
Yes,
ship
I will
that we
have.
have.
I will have the. Oh, yeah, no, it's a beauty. It's a. It's. I mean, you'd love it, Ozzy. It's vintage. That's what I've started calling it. But yes, I do have transport.
What's really funny is you do kind of have the ship version of this car. As you turn to leave, as you turn to go, Ozzy kind of grabs Shook's arm slightly, not squeezing too hard or anything like that, and kind of leans in. This is a test of management. Do you understand?
For whom?
Who am I telling?
Noted.
Okay. Lets you go, swings back on his heels to look at the big glass case, goes back over.
Yeah, I think Ripley's like completely walked ahead. Like absolutely no spatial awareness that Shuck has actually gone anywhere until they stop, turn around, see them like a bit far back, and then does this sort of like half bow to Shuck, like extending his hand out. It's like, shall we?
Shook will absolutely just brush past them. Not like nothing to do with the hand, nothing to do with like acknowledging them bowing or anything. We'll just walk straight past.
Oh no, it's fine. I mean, you know, I can totally deal with being left hanging. God, they're so dense. Okay, ship, let's go. We gotta move fast. I think. I hope.
So I'll give this an opportunity in a second for you two. You can talk in character, out of character. It's up to you two. How you want to handle this. I'll give you a couple of extra facts as well. But first, let's talk about the ship. If you can remember what the ship looks like and how we described.
Oh, I can remember. I can remember this because it's such a. So out on this, the only thing I can't remember is its name. Wasn't it RR or something?
It should be on the sheet in roll 20. Well, the initials are on the sheet in roll 20, I believe.
It was going to be. It was going to be TWOFS, wasn't it? But I think we the last minute renamed it. But that's not that it matters. It's not that you can see the name. This is a ship which is no longer one ship. It is a amalgamation of several ships that have been welded together in the most craziest configuration possible. Like, it's like getting parts from different airplanes and putting them together, and it's like, but that's a turbojet, and that's a propeller plane. Like, that they shouldn't go together, and they've just been welded together. But it has go faster racing stripes on it. There's no paint left on it because it's all rust. It looks like it used to have a nice paint job, but it's completely rusted off.
That's really funny, because when you said vintage, I was like, cool, so it's a rust bucket.
Yeah. There is no weapons on this thing. The only sort of, for lack of a better word, defense measure it has is a ginormous scavenger's claw that it can fire out and grab onto things. And you sort of really kind of like pulls the keys out. It's like, home sweet home. And like the key has, what is it? It's like a rocket key ring, wasn't it?
So I think I put it on the ship sheet. Yeah, keys have a shiny logo on the keychain from a long forgotten racing star.
That's it. It's nice. It's good. It was also free, which is the best kind of deal. Where people like open the door. And it's like, don't wander too far from the bridge. The corridors get confusing once you get past like the second set of airlocks. It turns into a maze. I know where they all are. I know how to get around my own ship.
Shook kind of looks around the outside and does the equivalent of like tire kicking to just like confirm that this is an absolute rust bucket and that it has no armaments or anything, and it's just like,
I would probably say that Shook's boot is probably heavy enough to like wipe away a layer of rust and leave a small hole. And yeah, Ripley is mortified, but is also too proud to say anything.
And then the entrance to it, is it like the whole back comes down?
It's like a side entrance kind of thing. It's like on the side of the ship, there's like one panel that folds down. The back is where you put the engines.
Cool.
Some of the engines that are not the same size.
In which case they'll put their hand on the top of it and kind of duck inside.
See, it's wonderful. Like, quietly grabs like a bottle of like instant repair foam and is just like quietly putting it into the kicked hole before like putting the can away. I think we said the bridge was like, you've got Ripley's like station at the front, surrounded by these monitors. And they're all like 1980s, like 1970s monitors. None of them are the same. None of them have come from the same model of ship. They're all running slightly different versions of operating systems with slightly different visual styles. And like Ripley will sit down, and I can only describe. I will describe it the same way I described it when we first did it back at that session. So they can't use the language that he used. But he will start like trying to turn put the key in and turn the engine, and just like an old car, you just hear it go from. Like, no, we've been through this. Vroom, 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 vroom. Oh, hang on, pull down the engage lever. Vroom, vroom, vroom. And then they'll kick the side of it several times while doing it. and then eventually it starts up, and every single monitor pops up asking if they want to update the firmware. And what you see is, for about 2 minutes, Ripley having a shouting match with the computer's AI, who deliberately misinterprets all of Ripley's instructions. They know what he is saying, but they are not doing it. Like,
We love a malicious AI.
It's like engage engines. It's like, did you mean engage Urshels? No, engage engines. It's just like, even his own AI is just like actively fighting against him.
I think while Ripley is trying to get the ship into any kind of order to leave, Shuck has gone for a bit of a wander to go check out the rest of the ship, make sure there's no one else on board, see what the situation is, if there's anything currently stored on here, like just get a lay of the land, essentially.
So I will read from the bio I initially wrote about the ship, just because I think that'll give you a good idea of like the lay of the land, essentially. But while you are doing this, once Ripley manages to get the engines on and such, and the AI starts talking, Salem, I think you've forgotten this, the AI does announce what the name of the ship is. So you hear all throughout is the AI saying, "Welcome to the waste of space."
That was it.
I think that's probably that's pretty funny that the most emotion Shook showed so far will not be seen by Ripley because they're elsewhere on the ship. But as soon as that's announced, they'll just be like a slight uptick and a, like, you know, when you like blow air out of your nose in like a silent laugh.
Yeah. Like you can hear an echo in the background of Ripley screaming, "I've told you that's not our name."
So I'll read this very, very quickly, this box text, essentially. Sam's done a much better job describing the ship than this will, but what seems to be an old smuggling vessel with secret rooms and compartments, a mess hall is left with its walls stained and graffitied, a bridge with consoles scuffed from altercations between the previous crews, and an engine room held together with duct tape and dreams. The exterior is patched together with quick fixes and even more distant dreams. At some point, it had a large claw fix, last remaining modification, not taken by salvagers, who didn't see the value in the ship itself. The faded paint job was once a vibrant red, dulled through time and a lack of love. At some point, this was someone's pride and joy, somehow taken away and twisted into nothing more than a tool. Subtle it is not. So yeah, the vibe is this is a ship that is well lived in. 20 years ago, it was someone's favorite thing. They loved it. They loved being on this ship. They loved piloting this ship. 20 years is a long time for things to kind of fall apart. But yeah, so as you take off, I'll give you a little bit of a rundown of the actual kind of mission we're doing here. Your mission is to steal this car, this famous movie car. It is currently being held at Mandalay Vision, which is this big museum. It's part of a touring kind of exhibit, which is just about to finish, where it is then being transported on a public transport called Western Bound, and it is then going to arrive at Pushkin Accord. That is where it'll be stored forever, well, until they want to take it back out. That is information you know straight away. So you have a couple of different ways you can attach this. You can do this in different times. You know, I leave it up to you two to decide how you want to do this. I'll let you discuss in character, out of character, whatever you want to do. I'd like to see in character stuff because we like to see the characters interact, but also, as you have a quick think between yourselves, as you'll probably explain, because I didn't explain at the start, but I was meant to, the kind of donation incentives that we have running for this game. So I put up some very quick incentives to hopefully get people watching to chuck a couple of monies our way to go towards our cause of helping game therapy, which is helping people through therapeutic tabletop playing. The donations I've picked, I thought these in about 5 seconds. But the first option, which is if you give £5, you can give someone the upper hand or against the odds. That's basically advantage or disadvantage. If you want to donate £10, I will let you name an NPC. You can even tell me a little bit about them. For £20, someone's trouble will come rearing up. This is basically their kind of background, their history. Characters have troubles, and what will happen is I will show how that appears suddenly in these moments when they least expect it. For £50, all the weapons have tags in the game. So, for example, a weapon might be armor piercing, or it might be a concealable weapon. I will let you swap the tags out. So suddenly someone's little secret pistol isn't so secret anymore.
Or my wonderful tranquil is now armor piercing.
Exactly. And there's some fun we can do with that. And the final one for £100, one of the mechanics in this game is a thing called the Swan Song, which is where a character in a moment of essentially going out in a blaze of glory, they will start doing a bunch of stuff, which basically gives them it's like turning on invincibility in a video game. And they can do all this stuff. But the idea is that after that, they will leave the story potentially to die a sad death in the rain or walk away from this lifestyle. I think that one's...
Yeah, what you're telling us is donate £100 and you can kill one of our characters.
Basically, yes. Which is very funny considering that we are currently playing a game set after this.
I've told you. We're going to wake up and it's Ripley's bad dream.
I'm going to wake up dead.
Very funny idea to me that when we next play at home, you have to be like, well, I've been a ghost this whole time. So...
Did somebody say trauma?
Influence that you all can have. But yeah, I will...
We should have added a donation to have an NPC punch Ripley.
It's okay.
We don't need a donation for that.
I can do that sacrifice.
Oh, some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Yeah.
I'll let you two speak.
I mean, I was going to say that Ripley, for the most part, will be sitting in his chair, kind of forgetting that Shook is on board. That they're so used to flying alone that they kind of put like a I suppose a space version of like "Come Fly with Me." That's Ripley's music taste. Very like Fallout 1950s.
Yeah.
Kind of like, and like he's there on the chair. Like he starts off just like singing it and like swinging in the chair, and then like gets up off the chair and starts like dancing to themselves, and is just like completely out of it, until I don't know. One or two things I think happen. One, Shook appears back in the bridge. Ripley notices, locks up, tries to like lean on a console to make it look like it was deliberate, or the AI starts coughing when Shook enters the room to try and get Ripley's attention. That something's not quite right. But I will let Shook decide which of the two.
First of all, do I know anything about these locations already?
So I would say potentially. So you have, I believe you have your gambit is
Mm.
so the gambits are another kind of mechanic in this game, and they're essentially abilities, and they give you stuff you can do. Sometimes all the time, sometimes once per session or once per arc. Just for an example, blues is when you've known more than a few shady times. You've known more than a few shady times. When you return to an old haunt and seek some old friend, roll a blues check. We'll worry about that later. If you succeed, in addition to gaining a blues, roll with the upper hand on your next check to obtain or coerce something from someone there. I think that's up to you. If you would think, because you're kind of the well-traveled, you're one of the well-traveled ones. If you think you would know things, if you think you would know people there,
Mm-hmm.
then we can have a talk about that and see what you can potentially find out.
Okay.
Um,
That's fine then. It was just whether I needed to do any research in the traveling aspect, but I don't think I will. I think I'll just wait until we get there. In which case, then, in regards to Ripley's dancing, Shuck has done a quick rally round, checked everything. There's no stowaways. There's nothing here that's really noticeable or important. And so eventually they make their way back up to the bridge. And whilst Ripley is in a world of their own dancing, Shuck has posted themselves up in the doorway and is just leaning one shoulder on the doorway, just watching.
Hang on. Can I self-impose a check on myself? I want to see how nimble Ripley is to see whether he can actually recover this or somehow make it worse.
yeah, let's get
it would be savvy, wouldn't it?
It would be. Yeah, it'd be savvy.
I'm supposed to be good at this. Oh, no, he is.
Yeah, well done.
Like he like I think no like the you know when you feel that like you're being watched, the hairs at the back of your neck go up, like that happens. He spins around, sees Shook there leaning against the wall, and it's like tries to do the same thing up against a console. And if he'd have failed, he'd have missed the console and just gone down to the ground, which would have been hilarious. But he's like, stop music.
I think as you've done that and you're kind of recovered, I think the little ship AI starts playing out this like a recording of people cheering. Very sarcastic kind of.
Amazing.
When I find where your core is housed, I am going to enjoy ripping every single chip out of you, you mechanical piece of... Anyway, apologies. The AI has a mind of its own. Who thought giving computers sentience was a good idea?
Is there another seat in the bridge?
Yeah. There's you got the front bit, and then you've got like side consoles. So there's like 3 or 4 seats behind where Ripley sits.
Okay. Shuck will like push themselves off with their arm and then just amble over to one of the seats, sits down, tries to find somewhere to put their feet up, pulls their hood down and just says, "Wake me up when we get there."
Yeah. Yeah, sure, no, I'll do all the work. It's fine. Just sits back in his chair, and there's just this awkward moment where, like, I don't think Ripley ever stays still when they're flying. But now like, this awkward thing of like, I can't listen to my music, I can't dance around the place. I just like I've got to like tap my legs, like waiting to get here. And I think just like eventually get so bored they just like lean back on the chair, like staring at the ceiling. It's just like I think. Silence troubles Ripley because silence means they have to listen to the thoughts in their head, and that makes them sad when they have to listen to themselves. That's why they're always quite flamboyant and quite like always speaking and outspoken, because if they don't, then they start listening to the voices in their head, and that's not necessarily the smartest idea. So like I think they start to get very, very restless as they're trying to like they don't want to. Here's the conflict. Shook is scary. If it was anyone else, if it was any of the other members of the crew, well, okay, some of them maybe not, but if it was one of the members of the crew, they'd have no issue with just like being themselves and ignoring the order that I'm going to sleep and I need to, whatever, wake me up, whatever. But Shook is scary, so not letting them sleep or letting them relax could probably result in pain. But then sitting here in silence is, of course, mental pain. So there's kind of what's worse, being punched in the face or inflicting emotional damage. And that's why they're getting restless, because they cannot decide what is the lesser evil here.
I think after a while, when the like restless leg situation starts getting in, and like you notice, like you can hear it, you can like feel it because the floor's so rickety that like this leg's going. I think after a bit, Ripley just feels a weight on their knee to stop them moving. And as they look down, it's the end of a machete just pressing on their leg to make them stop. And if they look at Shook, they're like staring at them, and there's a pause, and then they just go, "If you need music, then put on music. I have slept through the midst of battle. I can sleep anywhere. Stop fidgeting." And then moves the machete away.
Okay. You. Okay. Thank you. I will wake you up. Probably not best to sleep through oh no, they're gone. And I think Ripley will just turn around and put his 1950s X music back on, but put the volume down like midway. But will constantly look back over their shoulder. Like every minute or two. It's like, is there a machete? Is it being pointed in my direction?
Yeah, machete's missing. You can't see it, and like, as far as you can tell, they're asleep.
Ripley should be okay with this. This somehow terrifies them more. Because it's like, this looks like a trap. They're waiting for me to do something. This is how Ripley survives. Paranoia.
This feels like a good moment for this to introduce. Yeah, bye, cat. To introduce another little mechanic in this game, which is the blues check. So this is one of the big core mechanics of the game. So when your character feels something of kind of a moment of sadness, moment of great sadness, they should do a blues check, which is a roll of 2d6 plus grit. So it's a grit roll. Grit. If they pass the check, then they are shook up, but take it in stride and they gain a blues. If they don't pass the check, then they gain no blues. Blues is kind of this game's version of XP. So yeah, if you want to make a blues check for me, Ripley, I should say, just to make sure.
No, I was about to make a terrible joke. I was about to turn to Blue, be like, "How are you doing, Blue?" Please don't hurt me. Okay, grit. Oh no, that's not a success.
No, that is not. So the feeling passes, but you gain no blues.
That's fine, because what's the worst that could happen? Also, it is worth saying we did get a donation. What it's Shook gets upper hand for one roll.
Yes.
Hooray.
Would have been really useful round about now. Just saying, world.
No.
Why is
the upper hand is mine? Thank you.
So I say that, and what's going to happen is someone's going to donate to take dice from me, and it's like,
yeah.
Why? What did I do to smite you, universe? Why must you hate me? Yeah, I think, Ripley feels sad for a bit, but then being allowed to put their music on, I think, settles them.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of go into a kind of like cathartic state of just sitting there waiting for the AI to be like, oh yeah, we're at Mandalay now.
Cathartic State would absolutely be the name of a band in this era. Okay, so you're heading to the kind of museum, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's look at this toy box. I mean car.
Okay. So as you walk in, there is an immediate, as soon as you kind of get to, so you arrive there. So this is kind of a floating space station, and as you arrive, you dock with it, and you kind of lead from this kind of like pipe dock that comes out and connects the ship, that all kind of lead into this main kind of gangway. Well, not gangway, but a main kind of front garden, essentially, like where people all go in and then enter the main entrance into the building itself, or into the station itself proper. And as you start to approach the doors, there is an immediate beep, 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 beep.
What have you done?
Please surrender all weapons.
No.
A voice comes out of nowhere.
Weapons? I hardly had them.
Okay. How can I go about this where I get to keep it? Is there any other way in that doesn't have scanners or anything? Like, can I even see the scanners?
Oh, you can see the scanners. It's kind of like this big arch that everyone has to kind of go through.
Uh-huh.
Is it
Are
manned?
there any sides?
If you want to try and do a roll to see if you can find find another way in, I will.
Actually,
accept
no.
that.
I'll go with what Salem said. Is it manned? Are there any people here? Has anyone noticed? Or is this going to be like a shop alarm going off where it goes off and you look around and no one cares?
Do you want to do an observation check for me?
Yeah. Terrible. Can I use my what's it?
So you want to use your exertion?
No, can I use
No.
the bonus I got?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll let you roll. Just roll an extra d6.
What did I roll? Terribly. Okay.
So you rolled a 3 and a
D6.
1, so
A
3,
3
4,
and a
5,
3.
6. So it still doesn't quite hit it.
Boo.
Do you want me to observe?
You can do if you wish.
I
I'm
can
not
have
gonna
a
stop
crack at
you.
looking around.
Mhm.
I should be good at this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 7.
So wait, no, it's 8 you want to hit.
Why is it blue then? Why are you giving me blue? This is.
I think it's because there's a 6 in there.
Roll 20 is shafting me.
Actually, the thing I was looking at, I've got a little screen in front of me, said like 8 plus. And I'm like, wait, is it all 8 plus? Yeah. Double check my math. Again, you can re-roll that one if you want to with an exertion.
Go on, I'll exert.
So
We're just spending. We're like,
I'm gonna live forever, baby.
so you lose a heart and re-roll 1 dice.
Okay, I will re-roll that 1. For a 4. So 4 plus 6 is 10. What do I see? As I take emotional damage on a psychic level.
There are guards here, but they aren't at this level. If you look kind of up slightly, there are kind of almost windows that you can see people looking out. Not quite like so high up, but they've kind of hidden them. They don't want you to necessarily see the guards unless you're really looking for them.
I think Ripley is just going to wave to the guard station and like do like a beckon symbol to like come here, and then like lean into Shook and just be like, be intimidating and don't say anything.
Okay. I think turn of events. It's gone. Walk in. Alarms go off. Shook stops. Like really unsubtle, just like fully stops and tries to look around and doesn't see anyone. Ripley then next to them looks up, sees the station and waves, and Shook's just stood there like looking at them like, why the fuck would you wave at them? What are you doing? And then when you say that, they're just like, okay, and then proceeds to just stand there, arms crossed, waiting.
Somewhere in the back of your mind, you hear the voice of Ozzy saying, "This is a test of management."
Literally, just being like, this is either going to go really well or really badly, and this will be the deciding factor for this entire thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think a security guard approaches. They kind of like jump down, land, and kind of like you can kind of
superhero.
Good jump.
You can kind of see that there is like almost like shock absorption in their armor that they're wearing.
I love the idea of this like low-level security guard doing a full 3-point hero landing.
Like it's not proper high, but you know, they are making a dramatic point.
Yeah.
And they kind of come over and they say, "Is there a problem?"
Yeah, no, first of all, nice landing. Those shock absorbers. It's nice to know they've got like, outfitting station with some new kits. Must be nice to get some new toys every now and a while. Yeah, no, look, I don't know if it was radioed ahead, you know, with the whole communication thing, like some messages get here faster than others. We are, well, my name is Riley, and I have come here to do an investigation into a potential theft. I've come from System Central to, you know, oversee this. I was hoping they'd have told you beforehand, but it's fine. This is my I want to say apprentice, but I mean, look at them. There's literally nothing between their eyes. Like it's just like, why did the academy send me detectives who can't think in a straight line? But they do have muscle, and it's really, really useful for intimidating suspects. But anyway, I know that normal protocol dictates that everyone has to surrender weapons. However, because we are law enforcement, I really would appreciate it, especially because we're going to be going at some shady characters, if we could be allowed to keep our weapons. If you go up to your station, I'm sure the message would have arrived by now.
Papers?
And Ripley gives this smile.
ID papers?
I think I left them on the ship, you know. I always do this. It's one of those undercover things. Like, you don't want to like keep your papers on you because, well, if they search you, they find them. Look, I'll be back in 1 minute. Can you stay there? And he'll pat Shook on the shoulder and be like, keep them company. I will be right back.
I think they just kind of like move their head to look at you, and then when you say keep them company, just locks eyes with the security guard from under the hood, like it's completely deadpan.
I think they're giving you the same look back. It's just
standoff.
Yeah.
Here I was hoping they'd crumble under Shook's stare. Ripley's going to run back into the ship and be like, oh, come on, I have to have something around here that I can use to improvise a law enforcement pass. There was something in here. And I think there's like a chest in their bedroom that is almost like it's almost like a cosplay chest. And it's just like, yeah, guard, prison officer, like, I've got to have one for like detective. It's in here somewhere. And it's like, it's going to try and see if they can put something together. Like some kind of, it's going to be a forgery of some kind, but whether they can do it or not, well, that's allowed.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for a savvy check.
Okay.
But presenting this will also be a roll.
Okay.
But depending on how well this goes, there will be some modifiers. So savvy's an 8.
That's an 8.
Nice.
So you do manage to make one, but it's a little bit shoddy. It's a little bit under too much closer inspection.
Yeah.
But you can kind of flash it and probably get away with it. So it depends how attentive this guard is.
This is like, I think Ripley comes running out, and as they're running, they're like waving the card up and down. Like, there you go. I knew I had it. It is a bit beaten up though. I may have sat on it a few too many times because I keep it in my back pocket. And
they hold up their hand to
smile.
They hold up their hand to take it. I feel like I'll give you a choice. Actually, no. Give me 1 second. Let me.
No choices.
No choice.
Only consequence.
Yep.
I'm in two minds about how I want this to kind of look.
Ripley is just standing there like the guy who's like 16 years old trying to present fake ID.
I'm going to ask you to make a roll with grit.
Okay, that's a choice.
Now, if you had rolled poorly in making the fake ID, I would have done this against the odds, which would have been basically disadvantage. I've chosen grit because having a quick look at the thing, it mentions grit can be used to resist pain, continue on with arduous tasks without rest, or keep a straight face during a high stakes game. this is kind of bluffing your way in the same way that in that kind of vibe. So I'm like, grit, I think works.
Okay, here we go. I do have +1 to grit. Admittedly, muscle is the one that Ripley does not have for obvious reasons. Okay, that's a 7.
So you can choose to exert if you wish.
I am going to exert on the 2.
Okay.
I will, if combat kicks off, Ripley's first move is to jump behind Shook. Be like, protect me, Squire. Okay, so I'll do 1d6. So that's what? 4 + 4 is 8.
Yeah,
+1, 9.
Yeah, so just for everyone watching, that initial roll was a 7. We need an 8 or higher to pass the check, so it's a 7. So we re-rolled one of the dice, Expensive Heart, which is your HP, and got a 4. So
I'm burning through my HP.
We have passed that check. So they give you back the ID. Give like a little nod to say, in you come.
Thank you. Well done. Keep up the good work.
One last look to Shook, and just kind of a little nod of recognition.
Does the same thing back.
Yeah. Game recognized game and all that.
Yeah.
And then they kind of go back to their station.
Yeah, like Ripley will swagger on through the checkpoint, like turn around to Shook and be like arms out, like, see? I got game.
I think as soon as they turn around to be like, see? Shook just puts their hand on their head and just turns them.
Yes, forward. Good point. Good call. Forward. Totally. Ripley is trying so hard to fuse tension, but also feed their ego. And it's really difficult to do both when you're left with this. When you're left with Shook, who just has the emotional range of iron. I think I've seen toasters give off more emotional range. Though, to be fair, Ripley's toaster is controlled by the AI, so it does regularly attack him.
Yeah. I think once we get out of the open and we're actually like inside the building, I think that Shook is going to try and find someone that they probably know in the area. And just before they do that, I think they're just going to Ripley be like, sit tight, don't get into too much trouble, and then just leaves.
Me? Trouble? No. Oh, just... We've really got to work on the whole, like, talk to each other before... Okay, no, it's fine. I'll be fine. Thanks for asking.
So, do you know who it might be around here that you know? I have a potential pitch, but I'd like to know if you have any ideas before I do.
So it's a resort, it's a space station, there's history stuff here. Has it always been a resort?
Yeah.
Okay. In which case, this is probably a good place to get people on the back foot, because if they're at a resort, they're here to like chill out and have a good time and spend some money and that kind of thing. So I think the only thing I'm going to give you is a name, and then you can decide from that who they are. Okay. But yeah, it's definitely someone who targets people who are here to chill out and not necessarily like know that they would be potentially headhunted out here. But yeah, this contact I'm looking for that I know would probably be in the area is called Medusa.
Medusa. Okay, got that. Sorry, my partner's feeding the cat behind.
That explains the meows.
Yeah.
No, that's Leigh.
Which we will probably, actually, that's probably a good point to take a 10-minute break there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when we come back, I will have
fed kitties.
Yes. Cats must eat. That's the one thing we learned from this morning's stream. Cats must eat.
Lots of cookies, apparently.
Yeah.
Right. We'll speak to you all soon.
Bye.
And we're back. Hi, welcome back, everybody, or welcome back us. Welcome back to us, everybody.
You thought you could escape, but we came back for more.
So we're continuing with our game of Orbital Blues here at Roll for Good in fundraising money for Game Therapy UK. It's a new-ish charity that uses therapeutic tabletop RPGs as a way to help people through therapy situations, and they help a bunch of different groups, help people with things like social isolation, social isolation, homeless people and things of that nature. And it's just a big, massive group. It's really hard to sum it up very quickly, but you can go to our Tiltify page and donate to help us raise funds for them. There's a bunch of potential incentive options, stuff you can do to affect the game in the chat as well. So yeah, we're ready to get straight back into it. We have just arrived at Mandalay Vision, this large kind of museum and arts center that exists floating out in space. The party of Ripley and Shook have been tasked to go and retrieve a vintage movie car, essentially, for their cartel boss. When we went on break, Shook had realized that there was someone here they may know. And so we're cutting back on Shook in the gift shop. And you see a... Did you have like a look for what this person looked like, or...
Not specifically, other than big hair.
Yeah, I think this is a fairly older or fairly old woman of like Caribbean origin who is looking extremely bored, handing out stuffed toys or small... As you kind of clock her, she's handing out a small replica of the car you're about to steal to a small child. And then kind of goes back to what she was doing. And yeah.
I think just looking around said gift shop, which already gives me a very amusing like shot of this big intimidating person in this gift shop with all these like little toys and stuff around them.
You're so
Mommy, I want
lucky
the big one.
Yeah. You're so lucky Ripley's not there, that this would have been a gold mine.
And just generally like seeing what kind of people are around, if there's security nearby, how many people are in there, that kind of thing.
I think there is... I won't make you do a roll for this one. There's no real security around currently that you can see in this area, but there is... You can see like security cameras and such. But there is, say, about 7 or 8 people currently in the kind of gift shop who are kind of shopping around. No one's really paying much attention to what's going on. People look tired. You know, they've been walking around this center all day and are just kind of ready to finish up and go home. There might be a couple of enthusiastic people who are like buying prints of, you know, artwork that they specifically liked or stuff like that. But
okay, in which case they'll walk up to the kiosk where Medusa is. I don't know what her name tag would say, because obviously that's a code name. I don't know what the actual name is or what name they're using here. But yeah, they'll just walk up to the kiosk and be like, "Hey, sweetheart, when do you clock off?"
I think before she turns around, she's like, there ain't enough cred in the world, but and then turns to face you and kind of stops. The hell's going on here?
I just asked you a question, that's all.
So I didn't write down the first part of our code phrase because I assumed you were going to do it, just in case you're waiting for me to do it.
Yeah, no, it's good. I got it.
Good.
I got it.
Good.
The stare off is there.
Yeah. What, you're a fan of fine art now?
In a manner of speaking.
I'm a little bit concerned.
You don't need to be.
You ain't the first blast from the past here today.
Interesting. Is there anywhere we can talk?
I should have asked this earlier. Can I get that blues check now? Because this ties into your gambit, which lets you coerce information out of people, but you have to do a blues check first. You have to pass this blues check.
It's not great.
No. So.
Could always re-roll.
Yeah.
Can I re-roll this?
Yeah, I'll let you. All our blues checks seem to be 7s, and I'd like to see a successful one. So.
What do I do? Just roll a d6 and take away
roll
a
a
heart?
d6, take a heart, or you could roll 2d6 and take 2 heart off.
Okay,
that's a
so
5, 6, 7,
right.
8. So that 9, that passes.
Yep.
So you gain a blues. And I think they, without saying anything, just kind of turn, and as they do so, kind of flip up a little part of the kind of desk and kiosk, and then just walk into a room behind them.
Okay. Yeah, they'll follow. They'll do a quick, look around before they head in. And then as soon as the door closes behind, that's when they'll look to Medusa and just be like, the eyes glow.
She sighs, opens up her drawer and pulls out a bottle, closes the drawer and very kind of moodily says, "And the howls echo." Speak plainly.
Yes, I'm here for some fine art. Who have you seen?
There's a couple of people. I don't know what's so exciting here, and everyone's got their interest up in it.
Well, if they're here for the same thing I am, it's a car.
She looks confused for a second. Why?
Don't you worry about that, sweetheart. What I want to know is how many other people are here?
You know I can't just give info out willy-nilly, right? If you want to make me a savvy or grit roll with the upper... Well, actually, no. I'll let you choose which roll you want to do and how you want to do this. So if you want to be physically intimidating, I can take that as a muscle check. If you want to kind of pull on your history together, you can pull that as a savvy check. Or, again, grit can kind of work in different ways as well. I'll let you decide what you want to roll with it, but you're going to do so with the upper hand.
Okay. Well, it's not going to be savvy because they ain't a talker. And they're not planning on intimidating this one because they've worked together in the past. Like, they shouldn't need to. So yeah, hopefully grit, I think, would be preferable of just like, look, we've got some history here. And then upper hand is a d6.
Yeah.
So
4, 5, 6, 7. So that fails. Oh, not getting much good luck with the rolls here.
No, I'm not.
Do you want to let that stand, or do you want to re-roll?
I think if I think if this doesn't work, which clearly it's not going to because the roll didn't work, I think that's when they're going to start being intimidating. So I think I'll let it hold as not working. That's fine.
Look, I ain't saying I know names and faces and all that. Just, I don't know what to tell you. There's people about. Someone came in the left wing with a fake ID.
Did we come in through the left wing? Was that us?
No.
Okay, cool. I'm like, wait, which wing did we come through? Okay, cool. Interesting. Okay. Let me think. Sorry. I think that Shook will kind of lean back a bit and kind of look at her and then just be like, how much information do you want from me before you start being straight with me?
What information can I want from you? You're here to steal a car for some reason, no longer knocking off heads. You're gonna get a big payday for it, or maybe, I don't know, pull the family to ransom?
It's just a little gift.
Just a little gift. Little gift for who?
How do I know you're not going to rat this information out?
To what? The little ones that buying cheap knockoffs of our cheap knockoffs?
Look, you said there was another group here.
Yeah.
And I need to know who it is and that you're not going to tell them I'm here.
Do you want to make a roll again?
I think I'm just going to like look at her for a moment. And like, I can tell she's not giving. Like, I can tell this isn't working and that they're being too standoffish. And I think that's when, like, how big is this room?
Medium-sized. kind of like think of like any kind of break room in a workplace, you know.
Yeah. I think they're gonna like step forward and kind of like tower over them and basically just say, look, I'm going to get this over and done with quickly and efficiently. And the best way to do that is for you to give me this information. I don't want to have to take it from you. And then, yeah, I'd like to use intimidation.
Hey, that one works.
Barely.
I think so. She's holding this bottle of some kind of alcohol, kind of shoves it into your chest, not like hitting you with it, but passing it to you very aggressively. Team of 2. Big bruiser, little yapper, smart mouth. Works for knife something or other.
Do I recognize that name?
I don't think as a name, but as an organization, you would know of an organization called the Knives. Rival, right? Like kind of small time building up rivals to the cartel.
Okay. Cool. Okay. In which case, they will put their hand on the bottle and just say, I hope they're not friends of yours.
She steps away from you as if going back out. In this work long enough, you don't get friends left.
Good. You probably won't see them again. And then they'll take a swig and then place the bottle back down on the table and then leave.
While this is going on, Ripley, what are you doing?
Ripley is kind of in two minds because they're like, I promised I wouldn't get into trouble, but I can do this on my own. I don't need Brutius Maximus to help me do this. I'm gonna roll and see just how distracted Ripley is. Oh, they're distracted. They are. I think they walk past like the space opera and like see that there is like because it's like 70s, like there's like a band there, you know, like a classical band, and like there's a few people sitting in the seats, but not many. And there's just a microphone in the middle, and there's no one on it. And they're like, well, I need to blend in and look at people. That's a good way of doing it. And they're gonna like walk around the side of the amphitheater, and sort of walk up to like the composer of the band and be like, hey, what songs do you know? I mean, looking at your composition, you probably know you know, and Ripley's gonna like suggest like this version, like this universe's version of like Blue Moon.
Can you give me an observation check?
Sure. Can't promise it'll be a good one, but I can give you one. It's a 6. It's not
Okay. So they kind of go, sure.
good. I'm gonna go and give it a go. I'm sure these people need some good entertainment. Try and stick to the beat, and like taps his shoulder, and goes to walk up to the microphone. Sometime between going from there, from like the amphitheater to like the stage, they found a fedora. I don't even think I don't think anyone knows how they found. I don't even think Ripley knows how they found it. But it just sort of like swept them into their hand, and they just sort of like put it on, and is going to try. They've never done this before, so they've never actually done singing before. So this is potentially. This potentially is breaking Shuck's rule number 1. But they are going to try and blend in and sing.
Give me a... Oh, let's say grit check.
Okay. Could have been worse. You could have said... You could have said, give me a muscle check, and that would have been really scary. That's not good. That's a 4.
Oh.
I there, even if I'd have to roll a 5 if I push through. Exerted
You'd
myself.
have to roll a 5 or a 6 on the 1.
I'd have to spend double. No, I cannot justify killing myself anymore to pull off. Yeah, this is bad singing. This is X Factor bad singing. And I think that's what Shook hears when they come out of the gift shop.
Yeah.
They can just hear this.
But the band is perfect.
Oh yeah, the band's fine. These are professionals. These are people who do this for a living. And there was Shook. There was Ripley butchering a classic. Oh, Ripley, why did you have to do that? That could have been such a moment. You could have been powering out this song and looking at the audience, like finding an attractive lady and like taking off. It could have been so much more.
So how does Shook react coming out of?
Okay, Shook leaves the gift shop. Instant regret for not taking the bottle of alcohol with them. How are they going to do this in a way that isn't obvious? Okay. I think they're gonna. Is there a crowd?
There's people walking around.
Okay. No one's really paying attention to it though, because it's bad. I think they're just gonna stand at the back of wherever this performance space is, and just try and get their like attention just by staring daggers at them from the back.
I do like that you arrived in this place with like, okay, we're on a time crunch to steal this car. Ripley was like, Shook was like, I'm gonna go meet a contact and get some information. And Ripley went, a stage, my moment.
Yeah,
now it's my time.
Yeah.
In his mind, it was so perfect. Like they could charm someone, and then they could like get information out of them after the song, and be like, But also it was, this is my time to shine. Let's be clear. The dominating trait here was, I want to be important. They... I think it gets... They're singing badly. Then they see Shook at the top, and their voice goes really high pitched, like they've been spotted. And I think, but they do not break the song. They finish the song. They are nothing but a professional, even if they are bad at it. And then they will sort of like sleuth off the stage. And as they walk past, like the conductor of the band, they'll be like, "It sounded better in my head."
Give you a very sympathetic look.
Like takes the fedora off, puts it on the conductor's head, and like sleuths like neck down, all the way up to the top of the amphitheater. And like look at Shook, and for like the first time ever, their eyes are like down on the ground, like a petulant child who knows they've done wrong.
They're just gonna say, like, quietly, like, under their breath kind of way, but so that you can hear them. They're just gonna say, "We have competition. We need to do this quickly. If they're going to transport this soon, that's when we should grab it."
So I had an idea. Hush,
a good
hush.
One?
All my ideas are good, bar the singing. If you exclude the ones I failed at, all my ideas are good ideas. Look, we could totally go into like the manifest and like change the ship that's supposed to be carrying the car to ours. And then the dock workers, who are just, the help, would look at the manifest and see that this expensive movie car needs to be moved onto our dock, and then we can load it in our ship and fly away looking like it's totally legitimate. And we'll be gone before the Western Bound even realize that there was a mistake at the shipping office.
How quickly can you do that?
We'd have to find the office, I'd imagine, and get in and then use the terminal. It depends. Do you want to do this quietly, or do you want to just get in there and get it done? I would recommend taking our time.
Do you need me to be there?
If you don't want to be there, I can do it on my own. If you want to go and have your own reserve plan, I'm not going to stop you. I mean, you seem to be very, very intelligent.
There is competition.
Then...
So we need to keep eyes on the prize.
Then I will go and change the manifest, and you keep the eyes on the proverbial prize. And if anyone goes to touch the prize, do whatever it is they taught you to do.
GM, do we have any form of communication between us when we are not together?
Not unless you have a specific item that allows that.
Okay.
Neither of you took mobile phone as a gear. So
no, that's fine.
Unless there's something on the ship gear, but I don't think there is.
I don't think so, no. Okay, that's fine.
Sorry, that was a bad laugh. It's okay. I've just been told that somebody has decided to redeem troubles for Ripley. It was like one bad song.
That's all it took. Okay. In which case, they'll just nod at you.
Okay, like meet back at the ship. Nod if you understand.
If what you're doing works, then yes. And if what you're planning to do doesn't work, you come to me.
Got it.
And Shuck is going to head to wherever this exhibit is, where this car is, and is just going to keep eyes on it.
Okay. So I think that's fairly easy enough to find the exhibit, to find where it is. And yeah, it is kind of on this platform. It rotates around like a show car. And yeah. Ripley, set the stage for, unless there's anything Blue that you want to do while you're kind of waiting.
No, I think the only thing I would add is that since the conversation with Medusa went poorly and they had to intimidate them, the general energy around them has been bad. And that will be the start of troubles brewing.
Cool. Okay. Ripley, what's...
Okay. Step 1. Find the shipping room. Step 2. Break into the shipping room. Step 3. Change the manifest. Step 4. Leave. Profit. So they're gonna start hanging around. Like in Ripley's head, this makes sense that there's gonna be a terminal in an office somewhere in the docks where all of like the manifests for each of the individual ships in the dock is gonna be. All they've got to do is find a way in there somehow and change it so that this retro car gets moved from the flashy, expensive, modern ship to the vintage ship. Somehow. They are not feeling very confident right now. Not that they would have admitted it to Shook, but they are definitely feeling the pressure. And is probably going to spiral into that trouble.
So I have something for that. So I think finding the room of the office probably isn't too difficult. You've done something like this probably hundreds, thousands of times. So finding that place isn't an issue for you at all.
Getting in, though.
Getting in. So how are you approaching getting in? Like, are you just going to go try the door? Are you...
They will walk as if they're meant to be there. Ripley has learned that 90% of bluffing is just pretending that you're supposed to be there. And if you look the part and your body language is of the part, then most people won't question you. So they're going to just try the door.
The door opens.
Well, that's a start.
This is where I'm going to instigate your trouble a little bit. This may conflict with something that you've potentially said outside, and I do apologize if that's the case. Tell me. But so when you walk in the room, immediately a figure kind of hunched over a console turns to you, and you recognize the figure instantly because they're a conductor in a fedora. And it takes you a second before this person says, "Wait, Ripley." And at that moment, it's a voice you haven't heard in a while. This is the voice of Spencer. This is your trouble brewing.
Not fair. Fair. Why are you bringing them up? You're not real. You can't be real. Why
So
you?
explain to everyone at home who this is.
This is Spencer. This is their first love. This is the person that taught them to lie. This is the person that they modeled themselves after. This was the person that they wrote and died for. And is their only, not only was it their true love, it was their only true love. After this went up in flames, they never loved anyone else after, and have never been able to. So Spencer holds a lot of sway over someone who is normally quite self-assured. Yeah, this is not a pleasant thing to experience.
So it is on you to declare your trouble is brewing. I guess the players have done this for you. The audience has done this for you.
Yes.
But so in this moment, your soundtrack plays. What is your sound? Everyone has a song that they pick as their soundtrack. Yeah. What is your song?
So mine was a which I would play if it would get copyright struck. Is a song called "White Lies" by Mr. Hudson, which includes lyrics like I told a white lie and I'll tell a million more, just to get to you.
So you're filled with your blues, but you can try to assuage your blues by confronting the source of your trouble. You might seek a verbal confrontation or a violent one. You may have a depressive or manic episode, indulge a vice, or merely wallow in your blues. So for the rest of this scene, you can spend blues for exertion rather than heart. You take half damage from all attacks during the scene. And at the end of the scene, there's a couple of things that potentially happen. So, how do you react?
Ripley is just going to say, why?
Why what?
Why you? Why us?
I didn't know you'd be here. Who are you working for?
Carbonado?
A maniac.
I mean, fiery tempered is how I would put it.
That makes sense.
And what are you doing here? No.
Friends in new places.
No. I am not. It's not you, is it? You're not the competition. You can't. No. It can't be. This is not fair. This is emotional warfare. You know I can't do anything to you. Well, kind of. And I think Ripley is going to pull out their tranquilizer pistol.
Let me guess. Gonna change the shipping manifest. As they say that, you see a kind of small, it's a switchblade, appear kind of in their hand.
Oh. Okay. No, I wasn't. No. Why would I want to change the shipping manifest? That's such an amateur move to do. Look, you're the whole reason I carry a tranq pistol, you know. I couldn't bear the thought of actually shooting you if I ever saw you again, so I only ever carry tranquilizer rounds.
I've got a friend out there. She's violent.
Oh,
If
I
she
have a
knows
friend
you-
too. Who's also very. I mean, actually, no, I'm just like above board. I know we're doing the whole like psychological thing, but I mean, legitimately, they are really violent, and it is legitimately scary at times.
No,
When
you don't
say
understand how violent.
Oh no,
My
mine is
friend.
definitely more violent. Trust me. They glare at me and my legs like give way because I do not want to be on the same like eye level as them. Just one minor clarification. When you said outside, how outside? Outside as in the resort or outside as in like the corridor?
They're
Just for
watching the
clarification.
car.
Oh, then do you know? Oh, okay. Look, I know we have our differences, and I'm sorry, but I will need to ask you to move so I can change the manifest because that is what I'm here to do. We need to go. If they find each other, you do not understand the bloodshed, the carnage. It will be bad.
But then you and your friend should leave.
No, but you and your friend should leave.
I was here first.
You were in this room first. I was on the station first.
I was disguised as a conductor before you'd even learn how to walk past the security guards.
I got through security with my weapons. How did you get through security with your weapons?
Holds up kind of the switchblade. And I think when you look at the handle itself, it's very obviously disguised as like a piece of, it almost looks like a piece of like medical equipment.
Okay, well, here's the thing that I've learned. Switchblades are nice, but I can just shoot you and make you go to sleep. So I think gun beats knife. Although if that was shook, then knife would beat gun, and I'm trying. No, it's fine. It is fine. You are going to move. I'm going to change the manifest. I'm going to shoot you in the neck, and you're going to go nighty night. And then I'm going to go and get shook and probably have to wrestle them off that poor woman who's about to get brutalized. And then we're going to get the car, and I'm going to get my money, and you're going to wake up and forget that I ever existed. We should do this again, though. I must admit, I did kind of. I mean, it's not a date, but you know, I mean, our first date was actually a lot more violent than this. But you know, it is bringing back memories.
I think I'm going to attack you now. They don't look happy saying this, to be clear. They look upset that it's come to this.
I think I'm going to have to stop you now then.
So I can't believe that this is our first combat. I really thought it was going to be the two big bruises, but here we are.
No, it's the two pansies.
So,
two stick figures.
So the way combat works is we're going to roll for initiative. People who are using melee weapons, for example, a switchblade, get a advantage during initiative. So I will roll 2d3 and add my savvy. Salem, you will roll 1d3 and add your savvy.
I press the initiative button. Was not doing anything.
Savvy. Cool.
I wanted to send the result to this roll, but turned tracker, but no valid token was selected. Oh no, that's fine.
Did I say 2d3? I meant 2d6. Sorry.
See, when I hit initiative, it rolls 1d3.
Oh, is it? Oh, maybe it's 2d3. Okay, cool.
So I got 1d3 plus 2, which for 3 because I rolled a 1. Can I spend my first exertion to re-roll that and spend my first blues?
Yes, I will allow that.
Good. So I will do that. I will re-roll initiative. 5. That's slightly better. 3 plus 2. That's the highest initiative that I can do. I am now down to 7 blues.
I'm, however, going to.
Have the blues. I might as well spend them because after the season's over, I don't get to keep them.
Mhm. So I rolled a 5. So you're going to get to take your initiative action first.
Awesome.
And this can be a straight attack roll. You're in
Yeah.
close enough combat where you can use your weapon. So the way we do attack rolls is you're going to roll 3d6. The target number is 8.
Okay. So click the attack button. Normal odds. Yeah, because it's not Swan Song, is it? It's just Troubles.
Yeah.
Nice.
So 4, 4, 2, choose 2. So I'm going to take the 4 4s for 8. So the damage is 2.
So they take 2 damage.
Just
Okay.
go to sleep.
They are going to come at you with their little knife. Aren't you glad you took so much?
No, I'm not glad because I have. Because if they have 8 hearts, we're now on 6/6. Statistically, I will lose this battle. Hey, thank you for the raid. While we're working out attack rolls. While we figure out how much I'm getting stabbed.
So,
welcome.
I don't have proper character sheets in the way you do for all the NPCs,
No,
so this isn't as easy for me to do. But they're going to roll their 3d6. They get a +1 to the relevant stats. So, oops, it helps if I can type. So 6, 7, 8 +1, 9. You are taking 2 damage. So for everyone watching, I rolled a 2, 6, 2, and I get a +1. So I take this. So what I do is I take 2 of the dice. So the 6 and the 2. That hits our target number of 8. And then the other 2 is the damage dice. So yeah, takes 2 damage. And then it's back to your turn.
I am now down to half health.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so this is how it ends. Yeah, this is the bit where Ripley drops and then Swan songs. Because if he can't have it, then his ex can't have it. Okay, I'm gonna show up attack again. There's no, I can't do anything. Normal. Oh, 3, 1, 1. I can't make it, I don't think. If I choose 2. Yeah. So what do you add? Is it your savvy or your grit when using a gun?
Savvy.
Savvy. Oh, is this salvageable? No, it's not. The most I get is 6. Unless I exert 2 blues to re-roll the 2 1s.
Oh wait, hang on. Let me jump back a second.
Sorry?
You didn't add savvy onto the last attack roll, did you?
No.
The 4, 4, 2.
No, I didn't.
Your savvy is 2, yes?
Yes.
So if we take that attack roll
Mhm.
and we add the savvy onto it, you would get 4, 2 +2, and then deal 4 damage.
Okay.
That would have killed.
Oh, okay.
Or knocked out.
Yeah, stunned.
Yeah.
Spencer. Stunned.
Yeah, please don't kill my ex. That's my
that
next.
would have dealt with this energy.
That's my next trouble. Okay.
But yeah, so they.
Okay, there we go. Ignore that botch roll. It's fine.
Yes.
Should we say then, if it worked out that way, that you shot them,
yeah,
they still managed to get a swipe on you as
Yeah.
they were falling unconscious, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, ow.
No, it means you have a cool scar somewhere.
Yeah. Where did they hit you?
Yeah.
Gotta be across the chest.
Yeah, like as they're like falling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was gonna do face, but it's like, because like I think Shook would be like, how dare you get a cool a cool Okay, so they drop.
Yep, they are now on
Um,
the floor. Honk shoe, me.
I think they're just there. Like, I'm so sorry I had to do that. And like stand over their body and like go to the terminal and start changing the coordinates and moving the manifest.
So we're saying narratively you got kind of slashed across the chest now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What are you doing about the bleeding?
I think to start with, nothing. Their first thought is do the manifest, and then once they've done it, they're gonna sit on that chair that Spencer was on and just be like, and like lean back in pain, and then they're probably gonna try and like take one of the lines of their lines, take the one side of their jacket off, and like try and rip off their white shirt sleeve, and try and like turn it into a bandage, try and stop the bleeding for a moment. I can't treat myself, can I?
You can.
You can.
Can I? So yeah, I think they'll try and like pad themselves, try and like mechanically treat themselves.
Okay, so the way healing works, if it's one person doing it to another, one person makes this roll, and so the other one. But if you're doing it to yourself, you just have to kind of pass 2 rolls in that order.
Yeah.
So the first thing you need to do is a savvy check as the person doing the healing.
That was a 7, but I'm going to spend another one of my wonderful blues to re-roll one of them because I might as well. I have 7. This is a night of 1,000 re-rolls. So that's 4 plus 6 is 10. Plus
Cool.
my 2, so 12.
And then you must make a muscle check as the person being healed.
Oh, yeah, no, that's going to go well. Oh my god, it did go well. Okay, 6 plus 4. Okay. Why? Why is the one I got plus 2 in, I roll crap? With the one I get plus 0 in, I start rolling 6s. Okay, so that's 6 and 4 for 10.
Should have just punched your ex in the face.
Apparently.
Yeah. Just comes out into the car place like I'm the bruiser man.
Okay, so not only that, but you're going to recover a d6 worth of heart.
Okay, so I'll roll a d6. That's 5. I can't go higher than 8, so I am now back to full health.
Nice.
Oh.
So yeah, you managed to kind of stop the bleeding, kind of patch yourself up. Your jacket is now ruined, or your clothes are now ruined.
Oh well. Is Spencer wearing anything cool?
I mean, they were disguised as a conductor, and you put a fedora on their head.
They're taking the fedora back.
Surely they're wearing a shirt or t-shirt or something.
Yeah, I mean they were the same size. I think, yeah. Ripley's gonna take the time to strip Spencer down and take their clothes, and then just leave their clothes there in a pile in front of Spencer. So when they wake up, they're just in their underwear, and there's just Ripley's clothes there, and a little like if there's a bit of paper. They're just gonna write sorry with a sad emoji and just like leave it on the clothes. That's it for I imagine then that's when they come out of troubles.
Yes. So when you finish troubles, we remove your blues. We've set blues back to 0. And you get one of 3 things. I'm scrolling through the book, and I bet it's right in front of me on this screen.
Isn't it a trouble, a stat increase, or full health?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's either you either get a new trouble, restore your health, or you increase the stat by 1.
This is easy. I'm taking a trouble. I'm taking the ex-lover. I'm taking lovesick.
Yeah.
I'm taking lovesick. You had a lover,
Thematic.
but now they're gone. It doesn't feel all that good.
Makes
So,
sense.
to whoever watching redeemed the trouble is brewing on Ripley, I hope
You're happy.
you're happy with the result.
Because that also means I get a gambit.
You also get a gambit. They're stronger now.
And I'm gonna take gift of the gab. You can compose yourself to spin a compelling lie and convince truths. When you use exertion to reroll a social die in a social situation, you may roll 2 dice per heart instead of 1.
Look what you did. Look what your donations did. They're more powerful. They're full of more lies and trauma.
Yeah, and now I can still lie but not remember the lies that I told.
Yeah, that won't get you in trouble.
No.
Okay. Shook. What's going on?
Okay, so here's the plan in Shook's head. They want to go get eyes on this car, but they are desperately attempting to not bring bloody violence here, because this is where there's security and who knows what else in this resort. And so their idea is that hopefully they can see if the car is still there and then witness it getting moved to where it needs to get moved to. Is the intention.
Mm-hmm. So you're kind of trying to blend in a little bit.
Yeah, in the shadows.
Yeah. Let's get a grit roll.
Yay. Terrible.
Oh no.
Roll a savvy roll. I guarantee you'll do amazing.
Yeah, apparently.
Would you like to use any exertion on that roll?
Sure.
So you can choose to reroll both if you want at the expense of 2 heart, if you wish for. But yeah, just want to make sure you are aware.
Oh, okay. 6 plus 2 plus 1, so that's 9.
So yeah, you manage to stay in the background. You start to notice when people are starting to filter out, and the place is starting to get quieter and quieter. You see Ripley kind of coming down, wearing completely different clothes, looking a little bit worse for wear. You know, like that was a really hard rerouting.
It was. It really was.
You obviously got no idea what happened in that room. Kind of look around, I guess, for you a little bit, or are you just going back to the ship, Ripley?
No, they're going to come out because what they're envisioning happening right now is people are walking out because there's a huge brawl going on. So they're moving with purpose.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think you can just, like your roll of success, you can kind of do as you wish. You kind of have the freedom to move in the shadows as you wish. And if you're going to wait until this place starts to close down,
well, my thought process is that someone's going to move this car.
Yeah.
And they've been told to move it to a different ship now. And so I'm waiting for them to move this car.
So are you trying to stay hidden
Yes.
while they move it, or are you letting yourself, like, are you joining in to move it, you know?
No, staying hidden.
Okay. I think with the roll you rolled, I think you can manage to do that and keep it that way. And they do start to move it until one of the workers stops and goes, "Something ain't right here." Why are we taking it to that bleep bleep bleep? It's something happened. They all start complaining about bosses and miscommunication and stuff like that. And one of them points to another ship, looking much nicer, much fancier, and says, "I think it's going that one." If you want to go check with, and they're talking amongst themselves, if you want to go check with the people up there, I'll let you go do that. I'll stay here and watch it, And people start to disperse a little bit, and this person just kind of hangs around. I don't know why I'm imagining this is two people kind of logging this car. So they obviously got some kind of grav lift, to help.
Yeah. Okay, so there's two of them.
Two of them. One of them is about to leave to go, confirm what's been put on the manifest.
Okay.
So which leaves one of them kind of waiting by the car.
Okay. The manifest that I am assuming has changed.
Yes.
Or are they going up to the office to check the original? Or
I mean, they're gonna go. They're gonna go find someone they can ask about it.
Okay. Cool. So they're gonna follow whoever this person is, and basically, as soon as they leave eyesight of the other person, they're taking them out.
Okay. I'm going to give you a chance to do an attack here with surprise round.
Ooh.
So you get to kind of make your attack action without them noticing, and then we'll roll regular initiative.
So do I just roll attack?
Yeah.
Upper hand or normal?
I'll give you the upper hand here, actually. Yeah, that makes sense.
Surprise!
So I think that hits.
Yeah.
Is this with muscle?
Yes.
And your muscle is +2?
Yes.
So you can do the 6 plus the 2 to make 8, and then take the 4 as the damage.
Yeah, so it'd be 6 plus 2 plus 2, which is 3 plus 2 is 5, so that was 6 plus 5 for the attack, and then 4 for the damage.
Well, you could take 4, 3 plus 2, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 6 damage.
Oh, yes, good point.
Okay, thanks, quick maths. Yeah, let's do that. That sounds way better. Okay.
How do you kill this guy then?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, so troubles are brewing. Violence is happening. To kind of, that's how they're dealing with big feelings. Violence. Can't manage it. Just destroy things. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are they to just put them unconscious in a chokehold, and how likely are they to accidentally just murder this person?
So, as to explain to kind of people at watching, when I make enemies in this game, there are kind of 3-4 levels of enemies. There are goons that are your average, everyday, run-of-the-mill person you're going to have in a fight. So, for example, for the instance of this, it kind of made sense to me that I essentially, even though I wouldn't say that Spencer was a goon, they are a more important character, I started them as a goon. They die whenever whenever they take 3 or more damage. Level up from that.
Overkill.
Yep. The level up from that is mobs, which is basically if you have groups of enemies, you can kind of put them into one unit, and essentially, like there could be a gang of 4 people, and then you would have to deal that 3 damage to that one unit several times.
Yeah.
You have to whittle down the gang piece by piece. And then there's marks, and marks are a bit stronger. They sometimes have their own troubles and gambits, and they have HP, as opposed to just take 3 damage and they're dealt with. They have actual HP or heart. This person has heart. This person is a mark. So you have hit them, but they're not going down.
Interesting.
And they kind of slowly turn around. Is this how we're doing it?
Okay, so Shook is not savvy. So is anything clicking here?
You tell me. Like, if you just want to if you want to roll initiative and you take another swing, we can do that. If you think Shook is going to recognize.
I think the fact that this delivery driver has not just gone down in one good hit, I think that's enough of a showcase of like, oh, okay. You're the one I'm meant to be looking for. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay. In which case their reply is going to be to crack their knuckles.
They they don't crack their knuckles, but they do kind of do a flourish to show that they are wearing a pair of knuckle dusters.
Nice.
So we will now roll for initiative. Let me just check something really quick, though.
So that's savvy roll.
So it's 2d3 plus your savvy.
Oh, that rolled 2d6. My bad. Initiative. And then plus a d6 for the machete.
No, that's for actually doing.
Then I got a 3.
That was for 1d3 though. So
yeah, I was gonna say if you can roll another
d3
d3 for me, just in case you roll higher.
I don't think the initiative thing counts that you're in melee.
Yeah.
Oh.
For some reason.
Ooh, that's 6 then.
That's another 3 for me.
Shook is on it.
Shook is having big feelings.
So this is how we deal with our troubles.
Literally terrible. Don't do this, kids. Talk it out.
You win the initiative roll, so you immediately get to make another attack.
Sweet.
See if it goes as well as the last one.
Okay.
No upper hand this time, though.
Yes. Do I add a d6 for the machete, though?
There's your character sheet.
I'm gonna use it.
Let me just double. Oh, no, this doesn't let me search in the way I want to. That's annoying. I don't believe so, but let me just find it. Yeah, no.
Straight roll.
Are we saying that Shook is having their is having their troubles brewing?
Yeah.
So then that means that stands to reason you could use your blues to re-roll some dice.
Mm-hmm.
I could, yeah.
You don't get to keep them after the troubles is over.
I mean, yeah, you could do so and re-roll that 1, and provided it hits 3, 4, 5. So I mean, you still hit. You just deal 1 damage.
Well, how much do I need to hit? 8?
Oh wait, no. You can actually no. Yeah,
Hang on,
can
you
hit
get
6,
+2.
7, 8, 9. Yeah, so you can deal 3 damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, poor woman.
Okay, but they get to attack you back. They are still standing.
Mm-hmm.
They have taken a machete.
It's like
just a graze.
Yeah,
I did more damage with the fists.
Yeah, you did 6. You did 6 on that. Then 3 odds. They've taken 9 damage and they're still standing.
Yeah.
I want to speak to this person's manager.
I want her to pick me up.
They unfortunately miss. Irregardless, they take a swing at you as you come down with the machete, and manage to miss. Which is probably how they end out with a machete stuck in them.
Hate when that happens.
Yeah. And back to you.
These rolls are wild. Well, that's a success.
Yes, that is a success, and you can deal 2 damage.
I would probably spend one of your blues to re-roll the 1 and gamble on getting a higher number.
5.
Because 6+, because then you do 5 damage.
5 damage. Let's go.
Now, if they're still alive after that, then yes, pick me up, mummy.
No, that does take them down. Is this a down, or is this a knockout? Are you using the machete still?
Yeah. No, sorry. Big feelings equals violence. They are basically, initially they were like, this is just a mook who's moving a car, who's decided to go do something stupid like ask someone about the situation, and I'm just gonna put them to sleep outside. Jobs are good. And then that didn't work, and then it turned out they were the competition. They're going down.
Okay. Around about this time, you hear an alarm going off. Somebody's left a body in the office.
I mean, someone's about to leave a body in the fucking showroom.
Look.
Ripley is not normally the murdering, the killing time.
Excellent. Well, that timing is wonderful because Shuck is going to grab this body by the back of their shirt or whatever and re-enter the showroom and throw it.
Where are you throwing it?
Just into the room. So, because obviously they exited the room to go and find out details. So they're kicking the door back into the foyer with this car in it, chucking this person in.
Okay. I think you could do that without making a roll.
Cool.
So you're with the big cart that has the car on in like its protective plastic. What are you doing?
So I guess if Ripley's still in the room, Ripley sees the door kick open and this body get thrown into the room before Shuck comes in.
Ripley's there trying to talk to the last guy left with their fake ID, being like, "Look, this is the reason we're using a beat up rust bucket is because no one would expect the car to win a beat up rust bucket. That is why the manifest has been changed, you moron." And then like the body comes through. And Ripley's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, pulls out the tranquilizer pistol, and it's just like, move. Shuck, get the grav lift. Come on, we'll just have to haul it ourselves.
So are you pointing this stun gun at this other guy, but you haven't shot them?
I haven't shot them, no.
Okay. Shuck is going to go take out this guy and try and just choke him out.
Yeah, give me a muscle roll.
It's a 9.
No.
Yeah, you choke this person out.
Yeah, I'm just putting them to sleep. Basically, you tell Shuck what to do. Shuck walks past you, grabs this person around the neck, looks you in the eye as they're like just holding them, and then when they fall unconscious, lets them go down to the floor, and then starts pushing the grav truck.
Don't do that to me. Yeah.
Move.
Yes. No, it's fine. And fucking Ripley's gonna do like their best Han Solo impression, just like holding the pistol. As a
tranquilizer pistol. Let's be
the
clear.
tranquilizer pistol. Yeah, let's be clear. They're not actually that badass. And I think Ripley wants to say something about what they just saw, but it's like I don't know if they're still in that state or not. So let's just not say anything. And just literally
just a big storm cloud, like
yeah, it's just like for them now. It's back to the docks, into the ship, and fly off.
So, as we're coming up on time, I'm happy for all of that to happen as it does. You've gone through the most part. You've taken out your opposing team. However, I do want to do something very quickly as we arrive back at base. So as you arrive back with Ozzy, can one of you, whoever says it first, give me odds or evens?
I'll defer to Blue.
odds.
Odds. Okay.
What does that mean?
Ripley, when you arrive back, you are called into the room alone with Ozzy, who is admiring the vehicle, has taken off the packet, and is...
You do not want to know what we had to go through to get that.
Blood, guts, and everything nice.
Let's just say I had to see someone I never thought I'd see again. Hope it's worth it.
Was...
Hey, where's Shuck? Like, what?
Was she useful?
Yes, as much as it pains me to admit. Kept me focused.
You certainly have impressed. One question, very quickly. How did you verify the car's authenticity?
It was in the middle of a fucking showroom. It was on a shipping manifest. Are you telling me that this is a fucking fake car? You're about to tell me that I knocked out my ex for a fake car, and Ripley will grab Ozzy by the collar. Choose your next words very carefully. I don't care how high up a chain you are. I will cut that chain down.
No, this is not a fake car.
Then why ask the question?
I wanted to make sure you were being detail-oriented. It's clear you're not.
I'm not in the mood for games anymore.
Then be
You know
gone.
what?
Your job is done.
Gladly. Gladly. And Ripley will storm off.
And I think you pass Shook as you kind of leave. She's coming in the room. You're separating, Yeah, you're going opposite directions. Do you say anything?
Fuck that guy. Screw this place. You deserve better. And then Ripley's going to continue walking. And if you want it, you'll find me.
Ozzy beckons you in. Is he reliable?
Not particularly.
How many dead?
Do you actually care?
I wouldn't ask if I didn't.
At least one. Maybe two. Not many.
Who did they work for?
The knives.
Knives are assassins. So unless they were there to hunt someone down. I don't see why they would be interested in such work of art. I forgot who Ozzy was for a second there.
I don't know. Their main focus seemed to be the car.
Do you believe your future is bright with us here?
I don't believe any of my future's bright.
Turns slightly. And mainly because I don't have a really good way to end this. Turns slightly, and another figure kind of walks in the room. Dressed in all white and gold. This is my big reference. All white and gold, and kind of stops. They have a shaven, bald head. Wearing this kind of very long, flowing, kind of almost kind of cape jacket thing. I don't know fashion enough to say what it actually is. Over like a, again, pristine white suit. And they kind of look. They kind of stop. They look you up and down and say, "Oh, we're going to do wonderfully terrible things together." And that's where we'll end.
Oh no! Uh-oh.
We're going to end that on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Dum dum dum.
Thank you, everyone who has watched and donated while we've been playing. I did notice that we have managed to hit over £200 in that game.
What?
Ooh.
So we were approaching ever closer to our goal by the end of the weekend. Thank you, everyone, so much. Up next, we have Monster of the Week, being run by Sam and Co. Sam would have been on the video just before this, where everyone was talking about their stuff. I'm very excited for that. Very excited to see how that's going to come down. So please, there'll be Salem, you'll know that it is the solo play next.
Yes, it is a solo play.
Yes. So there'll be a brief intermission where we're going to have a solo play as performed by Blue of Iron Heart.
Me again.
So yeah, if you can't get enough.
And yeah, that will then lead us very comfortably straight into our Monster of the Week, which is our final game of today. But we'll be back tomorrow as well with lots of other stuff.
Yes, I agree with Fresh. It's never enough blue.
True. Would you two like to plug where people can find you online and such before we sign off?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to go first, Blue, or should I go first?
No, you go.
Okay. That was my way of going, no, you.
No, you.
No. Yeah, no, I have been able to continue to be Salem. I can be found on the internet at Salem Flame or at Salem Flame UK. Online, I tend to be on my own little Miss Adventures League channel, making a whole bunch of different games. Specifically not D&D. That's the only rule we have. We do not play D&D. It's anything but D&D, which is always a blast. Aside from that, that's me.
Hi, I'm Blue. You can find me online as Sanguis Blue, and you can find me here all the time. I love it here. I love raising money for charity. This is a great cause, and I love playing TTRPGs and helping people by doing so. The only thing I want to add is that during the troubles of Shuck, the music that was playing, their little theme tune,
Didn't
is
ask, I do
called...
apologize.
Yeah, it's fine. I only want to plug it because I love it. It's an absolute tune. It's called Rise Up Dead Man, and it's by the band Port Sulphur Band. So if you want to go and check out the tunage that was going on whilst bloody murder was happening, then please do.
I will add an addendum for music, since we're talking music, because I've had my playlist going. The song that was playing when Ripley stormed out and walked past Shook and was all like, being quite emotional. The song is called A Soulmate Who Wasn't Meant to Be.
Man, I love playlists.
It's an acoustic sad song.
While we're talking about music, I will give like one little quick final pitch for this game, Orbital Blues. I think we should go check it out. One, it's a fantastic game. It's a really easy system. It is an absolutely gorgeous book as well to read through. It has some fantastic artwork. And you can also get things, because we're talking about music, is there was a soundtrack for this game by Chris Bissett, who has worked on a bunch of other games, including The Wretched, that we've played a couple times with this. And you can get it in cassette form, which I have. Look, it's a little old school cassette.
That's so neat.
It's very cool. I have a bunch of memorabilia for this game. I have a bunch of postcards and guitar pucks and the dice set for it as well. I backed this on Kickstarter. But yeah, this has been Orbital Blues. Everyone for good. Thank you everyone for joining us. And with that, we will say goodbye.
Bye.